Skol, Vikings Nation. What's good, my Purple family? It's your boy Purple Fan, back with the hottest Minnesota Vikings news straight from the gridiron. And today we're diving into something that's got my blood pumping. Aaron Rodgers and Brian Flores are cooking up something wild for 2025. Picture this. January 13th, 2025, Glendale, Arizona, NFC wild card game against the Rams, and our defensive guru Flores is pacing the sidelines, scheming like a mad scientist. Now, fast forward to this virtual press conference bombshell. Rodgers is begging for more blitzes. Here's the teaser that's gonna hook you. Rodgers, our new QB legend, looks Flores in the virtual eye and says, "Blitz all day, man. I trust this team. I trust your game plan. Let's unleash chaos." If that doesn't get your Vikings heart racing, I don't know what will. We're talking about a defense that's led the NFL in blitz rate for 2 straight years under Flores, 51.5% in 2023, 38.9% last season. And now Rodgers wants to crank it up even more. Are we about to see the most aggressive Vikings D ever? So, grab your horns, settle in, and let's break this down together. How does Rodgers' speed change the game? Can Flores finally mix in more man coverage? And what does this mean for our playoff dreams? I'm hyped just thinking about it, and I know you are too. Let's unpack this purple madness step by step, Vikings style. All right, fam, let's set the stage. Brian Flores is the maestro of mayhem, and he's been dialing up blitzes like it's his personal mission to terrorize quarterbacks. Back in 2023, his first year with us, the Vikings blitzed 51.5% of the time, highest in the league, no contest. Last season, he toned it down a bit to 38.9%, but guess what? Still numero uno in the NFL, beating the next team by over 4 points. That's not just aggressive. That's Flores saying, "I'm coming for you, and I don't care who knows it." Now enter Aaron Rodgers, the wizard who's seen it all, joining the Vikings and dropping this press conference gem. He's not just cool with the blitz, he's practically begging for it. "With the team we have, I'm all for it," he said, cool as ever. "Blitz all day, it saves me having to cover." That's a QB who knows his defense can ball out, and it's got me wondering, is this the perfect marriage of offensive genius and defensive insanity? Think about it. Rodgers has always thrived under pressure, and with Flores sending the house, opposing QBs are going to be rattled. But here's the suspense. Can our secondary hold up? For 2 years, we've leaned hard on zone coverage because our corners were young and green. Could Rodgers' arrival flip the script? Stick with me, Vikings fans. We're just getting started. Let's talk history because Flores doesn't just blitz, he lives for it. Before he brought his magic to Minnesota, he was with the Miami Dolphins, and guess what? In 2020, his defense blitzed 40.8% of the time, second in the NFL. In 2021, 39.6%, also second. This guy's got aggression in his DNA, and when he landed with the Vikings, it was like handing a pyromaniac a flamethrower. We've been torching offenses ever since. But here's where it gets juicy. Rodgers isn't just any quarterback. At 41, he's still got that elite speed and football IQ, and he's hinting at something big. In that virtual presser, he didn't just praise Flores' blitz rate. He tied it to the team's potential, saying, "I trust this team, I trust his strategy." That's a guy who sees the bigger picture, and it's got me dreaming of a Vikings D that's not just relentless but versatile. So what's the catch? For years, Flores couldn't lean into man coverage because our cornerback room was a work in progress. Too much youth, not enough lockdown talent. Could Rodgers' confidence mean we're about to see a shift? I need your take, Vikings Nation. What do you think Flores has up his sleeve? Drop it in the comments. Picture this. It's 3rd and long, the opposing QB's sweating bullets, and here comes Flores with a 5-man rush. Maybe 6. That's been our bread and butter, and the stats back it up. According to PFF, our blitz-heavy approach last season still had us leading the league, even if our pass rush grade was only 25th. Why? Because our interior D-line wasn't getting it done consistently. Guys like Harrison Phillips were grinding, but we needed more juice up front. Cue the off-season moves. Enter Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, 2 veteran beasts signed in free agency to beef up that line. Suddenly, Flores has new toys to play with, and Rodgers is all in, saying, "Blitz all day." It's like giving a chef a 5-star kitchen, except this chef's cooking up sacks and turnovers. The suspense is killing me. Will this upgraded D-line let Flores dial up the heat even more? Here's the kicker: Rodgers' speed could mean less time covering downfield, giving our secondary a breather. But can our corners step up if Flores mixes in more man-to-man? That's the million-dollar question, and I'm dying to see how it plays out. What do you think, fam? Does this D-line upgrade change everything? Let's rewind to that wild card game. January 13th, 2025, State Farm Stadium, Vikings versus Rams. Flores is on the sideline, headset on, calling plays like a general in battle. The crowd's roaring, the stakes are sky high, and our defense is flying around, blitzing like there's no tomorrow. It's the kind of energy that makes you proud to bleed purple, and it's the foundation of what Rodgers is hyping up now. Fast forward to this press conference. Rodgers isn't just talking about the past. He's planting a flag for the future. "I trust his strategy and everything he is going into game plans," he said, and that's a mic drop moment. For 2 years, Flores has had us leading the NFL in blitz rate, but it's always been a high-risk, high-reward deal. Sometimes we get burned because our back end couldn't lock it down. Now, with Rodgers in the mix, there's a twist. His speed and smarts could let Flores experiment. Maybe more man coverage, maybe tighter windows for QBs to throw into. It's like adding a turbocharger to an already souped-up engine. Vikings fans, are you feeling this vibe? Tell me, do you see us dominating with this combo? Alright, let's get nerdy with the numbers. Because as a Vikings fan, I live for this stuff. In 2023, Flores blitzed 51.5% of the time, the second highest rate since PFF started tracking in 2018. Last year, 38.9% still led the league by a mile. That's not just a stat, that's a statement. Flores is out here telling every offense in the NFL, "Good luck figuring us out." And Rodgers is eating it up. But here's the rub: our pass defense has had its struggles. Last season, we finished 5th worst in passing yards allowed. Why? Too much youth in the secondary, not enough studs to play man coverage consistently. Flores leaned on zone to mask it, but with blitzes flying, QBs still found gaps. Rodgers' comment about saving time covering feels like a wink. Could his presence mean a stronger back end? Imagine this: Allen and Hargrave clogging the middle, Greenid and Van Ginkel rushing the edges, and Flores sending an extra guy or two. The suspense is real. Can our secondary evolve to match this aggression? I'm pumped to find out, and I know you are too. What's your prediction, Vikings Nation? Let's talk about the new kid on the block. Well, not so new anymore. Our latest defender turned 27 in January 2025, and he's itching to be a full-time starter. Who is this guy? None other than the speed demon Rodgers is hyping up. Pair him with Flores' blitz-happy scheme, and you've got a recipe for chaos that's got me grinning ear to ear. For 2 seasons, Flores couldn't go all in on man coverage. Our corners were too raw, too untested. But this 27-year-old brings a spark. Speed that could let Flores flip the script. Rodgers sees it too, saying, "With the team we have, I'm all for it." That's not just confidence. That's a challenge to Flores to push the boundaries even further. Here's where it gets wild. What if this guy locks down receivers one-on-one while Flores sends the house? Opposing QBs might not have a prayer. The tension's building. Can this young gun step up and turn our D into a nightmare? I need your thoughts, fam. What's his ceiling in this system? Okay, Vikings fans, let's dream big. Because that's what we do. Rodgers and Flores together? It's like Batman and Robin, but with more purple and a lot more blitzes. Rodgers' press conference vibe was all about trust. Trust in the team, trust in Flores, trust in the chaos. And after 2 years of leading the league in blitz rate, Flores has earned every bit of it. But here's the plot twist. For all the blitzing, our pass rush hasn't always cashed in. Last season's 25th ranked PFF pass rush grade shows the gaps. Blitzing's great, but without consistent pressure, it's a gamble. Now, with Allen, Hargrave, and Rodgers' speed in the mix, could 2025 be the year it all clicks? I'm on the edge of my seat imagining it. Picture this. Rodgers slinging it on offense, Flores blitzing like a maniac on D, and our secondary finally holding strong. Is this the formula for a deep playoff run? I'm hyped, but I want to hear from you. Does this feel like a Super Bowl recipe, Vikings Nation? Let's zoom in on Flores' bag of tricks, because this man's a genius. He's not just blitzing to blitz, he's disguising it, mixing it up, keeping QBs guessing. Back in Miami, he'd throw elaborate pressures that had offenses scrambling, and he brought that same heat to Minnesota. Rodgers calling him out in the presser? That's a nod to a mastermind at work. But every genius has a weakness, right? For Flores, it's been the secondary. Too many times we've sent the house only to get torched deep. Last season, even with a league-leading blitz rate, our pass D ranked near the bottom. Rodgers' speed could be the X factor. Less time covering means less time for QBs to pick us apart. The suspense is killing me. Can Flores tweak his scheme to balance the blitz with tighter coverage? With new pieces like Allen and Hargrave, and Rodgers hyping it up, 2025 could be his masterpiece. What do you think, fam? Does Flores take it to the next level? Alright, let's paint the scene. Late in the fourth quarter, Vikings up by 3, and Flores dials up a blitz. The crowd at US Bank Stadium is deafening. The QB's panicking, and boom, sack. That's the dream, and Rodgers is all in for it. Blitz all day, he said, and I can hear the horns blaring just thinking about it. But here's the reality check. Blitzing's a double-edged sword. It's won us games, but it's also left us exposed. Fifth worst in passing yards allowed doesn't lie. Flores has been patching holes with smoke and mirrors, but Rodgers' arrival could be the glue that holds it together. His speed might just tip the scales. So what's next? A secondary that can handle man coverage while Flores unleashes hell up front? The build-up's insane. Every snap could be a highlight reel. Vikings fans, are you ready for this roller coaster? Tell me your wildest predictions in the comments. Let's talk upgrades. Because the Vikings didn't mess around this offseason. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave, 2 Pro Bowl caliber D tackles, landed in Minnesota, and Flores must be licking his chops. For years, our interior line was solid but not scary. Now, it's a brick wall that could let Flores blitz even more recklessly. Rodgers sees it too, and he's hyped. Think about the domino effect. Allen and Hargrave clogging lanes, forcing QBs to hold the ball, and Flores sending extra rushers to finish the job. Rodgers' blitz all day comment isn't just talk. It's a vision of a D-line that dominates. But can our secondary keep up if Flores goes all in? That's the cliffhanger keeping me up at night. Vikings Nation, this feels like a game changer. Our D could go from good to elite. What's your take? Are Allen and Hargrave the missing pieces for a Flores blitzapalooza? Hit me up in the comments. Okay, fam, let's get real. Rodgers isn't here to mess around. Turning 41 in December 2024, he's still got that fire, and his press conference vibe was pure Vikings energy. I trust this team, he said, and that's a QB who's ready to lead us to glory. Pair that with Flores blitz obsession, and 2025 could be legendary. But here's the twist. For all his brilliance, Rodgers knows the D has to deliver. 2 years of top blitz rates haven't always translated to wins. Our past D's been leaky, and Flores has had to scheme around it. Rodgers' speed and trust could be the spark that turns chaos into control. Imagine the payoff. Rodgers carving up defenses on one side, Flores suffocating QBs on the other. The tension's building. Can this duo take us past the wild card? I'm buzzing with excitement. Vikings fans, what's your gut telling you? Let's zoom out. Why does this matter? Because Vikings fans, we've been starving for a breakthrough. Flores has given us an identity, aggressive, fearless, in your face. Rodgers jumping on board with blitz all day isn't just a soundbite. It's a promise of something bigger. We're not just playing football. We're waging war. But every war has its battles. Our secondary's been the Achilles heel, too many yards, too many big plays. Rodgers' speed and Flores' new toys could shift the tide, maybe even let us play more man coverage. The stakes are high, every game's gonna feel like a playoff fight. So where's this headed? A defense that strikes fear league-wide? A postseason run we'll never forget? I'm all in, and I know you are too, Vikings Nation. What's the one thing you want to see from this D in 2025? Drop it below. Alright, let's ramp it up, because this is Vikings football, baby. Flores leading the league in blitz rate isn't just stats. It's a mindset. Rodgers begging for more? That's fuel on the fire. Picture US Bank Stadium rocking, the Skol chant echoing, and our D swarming like purple hornets. 2025 could be our year, but here's the edge-of-your-seat moment. It all hinges on execution. Flores has the scheme, Rodgers has the trust, and the new D-line has the muscle, but can our secondary grow up fast? Rodgers' saves time covering line has me dreaming of a lockdown back end to match the front end fury. The build-up's unreal, every snap's gonna be electric. Vikings fans, we're on the cusp of something epic. What's your boldest call? Do we lead the NFL in sacks? Turnovers? Tell me how you see this playing out. Skol, Vikings Nation, we've made it to the end, and I'm still buzzing. Aaron Rodgers and Brian Flores are ready to unleash a blitzing beast in 2025, and I'm here for every second of it. From that wild card showdown to Rodgers' blitz all-day hype, this is Minnesota Vikings news that's got us all fired up. We've got the pieces, Allen, Hargrave, a speedy QB, and a mad genius DC. Now it's time to deliver. The suspense is over the top. Can Flores mix in more man coverage? Will Rodgers' trust turn our D into a juggernaut? I'm calling it now. This is the year we shock the NFL. But I need you, Vikings fam, what's your hype level? Drop your thoughts, your dreams, your wildest takes in the comments. I want to hear it all. Before you go, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this with every Vikings fan you know. We're building something special here, and I want you along for the ride. Skol forever. Let's make 2025 our year.